My name is Randall Pinkston. I attended Smith Robertson Elementary, Rowan Junior High, and I'm a graduate of Lanier Junior Senior High, class of 1968. I'm a broadcast journalist. That was not my career goal when I was in school, neither in high school nor in college. I wanted to be an attorney. My minister, my father's minister, really, Reverend Wendell P. Taylor of Central United Methodist Church, asked me what was I going to do. I said, well, I'm going to go to Millsaps and work at an office supply company part-time. And he said, why don't you go down to the TV station? They're looking for reporter trainees. Down there was WLBT on South Jefferson Street. They did not hire me for the reporter training position. I was very pleased about that because I didn't want to be a reporter anyway. But they did hire me as a DJ, an announcer on WJDX-FM. That required me to read news. The news director heard me reading a newscast one day and said, you know, you'd make a good reporter. I guess it was because he was kind of surprised that I could pronounce Phnom Penh and Cam Bay and Da Nang without stumbling or tripping and sort of understanding where they were. So my first job in broadcast journalism was writing, producing, and anchoring a 15-minute newscast on WLBT on Saturday nights. And from that, I did the 10 o'clock. And then I went to Columbia University one summer for a certificate program in journalism, my first and only formal training in journalism. Came back and I was promoted to the 6 o'clock anchor of WLBT Channel 3. And from there, I went to Jacksonville, Florida, Hartford, Connecticut, Channel 2 in New York, CBS Network, CBS in Washington, back to New York. And then about 2 years ago, I retired for about 3 weeks and now work for Al Jazeera America freelance. My fondest memories began in my elementary school, Smith Robertson. I must give a tip of the hat to the first elementary school, Hall Elementary in Yazoo County. That's where I attended first grade. But then, the next 11 years were here in Jackson. At Smith Robertson, in junior high school, I was at Rowan, the principal there. Fond memories of Mr. A.N. Jackson and so many wonderful teachers and counselors. One of them, Charles Tillman, who today is on the city council. He was a counselor at Rowan. Fond memories at Lanier, the legendary, wonderful, humorous principal, L.B. Buckley. Man has some of the driest jokes you ever want to hear, but they're all funny. Love you, Mr. Buckley. So many fond memories of my teachers and administrators, and of course, great friendships that I developed in those schools that last to this day, including one that I took up at Rowan Junior High School with the gentleman who's behind the camera, Mr. Larry Keeler, here at Jackson Public School System. We've known each other since 7th grade. It's a long time ago. We won't tell you how many years. We don't want to embarrass ourselves. I support Jackson Public Schools because they gave me and thousands of others a firm foundation for not only attending college, but for the lives that we've been able to enjoy, for being productive citizens. I support Jackson Public Schools because public schools, I believe, are the foundation stone of America's greatness. I'll never forget one of my instructors at Smith Robertson came to my parents' house and asked them to send me to a private school. They thought I would have more opportunities. Couldn't afford it. I couldn't get out to the lab school at Jackson State. We didn't have a car, didn't have enough money to pay the tuition. But I did okay at Jackson Public Schools. I mentioned to you earlier that I was accepted upon graduating from Lanier at 11 colleges. Let me just do a little bit of bragging. Those colleges included Dartmouth, Amherst, Tufts, Wesleyan, Columbia, New York, Howard University, Morehouse College, Jackson State, Tougaloo, Oklahoma Baptist, Earlham. Some of my other friends went to Yale. I mean, we went all over everywhere. And that was made possible because of the education that we received in the Jackson Public School System. I was vice president and president of the student council in junior high school and in high school. I was in the drama club in junior high school and in high school. I learned a lot in the Jackson Public School System that I still use to this day. The other day, I received, I was anchoring the news at Al Jazeera America, and one of the stories had to do with a reading that was based on Shakespeare. So the executive producer said, this is going to be a little different. This is not your average news copy. I just wanted to let you know. Are you okay with this? And so it was to be or not to be, but it had to do with something else. And so, you know, I read my news, and I got to that, and I put a little drama in it. And he said, wow, that was really good. I said, well, that's because I was a charter member of the Thespian Society at Lanier High School. So the school system helped me in so many ways, and I'm sure it's helping today's students as well. And I just hope that the work here can continue, the great work.